Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another amazing episode of the CEO Show. Remember, this is a show that always comes to you every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9. And this is a show that looks forward to bring you trailblazers in different industries. We are going to discuss different topical issues. And the main objective of this particular show is to educate, is to inspire, and also to bring you amazing insights. And tonight we have prepared you another great episode for you. Remember this week we're talking about the week of love. We're talking about the month of love. And who is our guest tonight? Our guest tonight is one renowned person who you've heard about him, and definitely you've come across him. Who is our guest? Our guest is Mr. Allan Buleti. This is the CEO and founder of Purified Jazz Outreach. And also, he is a public speaker coach and also a relationship coach. And remember, not only the two, but also he is a personal branding trainer. When we talk about personal brands, this is something that's very important in any business. We've been talking about different brands. We've been talking about building brands. But today, we want to talk about what does it take to build a personal brand. It is you to complement your business. What is your brand? Mr. Allan Buleti is a seasoned speaker, and this is somebody that you can't get tired to listen about him. And the nuggets that is going to come to this particular episode is going to be very, very important to you. Tonight we are coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and also we are coming live to you on TikTok. But how do you know that you're watching? Please ensure that you comment on the comment section. Tell us where you're watching from, and also tag somebody for them to know that you're part of this great conversation. Tell us where you're watching from so that we'll be getting to know that you're part of this. Mr. Allan Buleti, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I have to compliment that you're looking super sharp.
I'm trying to learn from someone.
Okay.
In this room.
That is nice. People have been looking forward to this particular show, but we are really sorry that we are coming late, but better late than never. Who is Allan Buleti, sir?
Oh, Allan Buleti is let me go personal first. He's a father.
Yeah.
He's a husband.
Uh-huh.
Father to them.
Mm-hmm.
A daughter called Ilana Tori Buleti. Married to my beautiful wife. She's called Lona Buleti.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a father. I'm a husband. A believer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another circles. I'm a believer. Disciple of Christ. But apart from that, we are in the marketplace, and there are things we also do in the marketplaces, and I believe that's what's more bringing us here.
Okay.
So I happen to be a relationship coach.
Mm-hmm.
We also run personal branding coaching as well.
Mm-hmm.
We try to give a holisticness approach to individuals who come to us as they look forward to up their lifestyle.
Okay.
So we look forward, we train both on the relationship side and on the branding side,
Okay.
and on the public speaking side.
Okay.
Because once you have three concepts together, you're able to forge forward in a healthy manner.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, that's who Allan Buleti is.
Just a quick one, Allan. Tell us, how did you find yourself doing this? Because I believe you saw a niche in it, or what was the problem that you saw that you are now trying to solve? How did you get yourself doing this?
We began doing relationship training so much.
Mm-hmm.
That was where we began with initially.
Mm-hmm.
But we scaled our trainings and courses. We saw there is a gap.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big gap in between the relationship side and the business side and me as an individual side.
Okay.
So trying to merge the three, that you're able to have a healthy, mature person at home, at the workplace, and as an individual. So it fits to have an holistic approach in trying to merge all these things together.
Okay.
And then from a young age, I've learned reading books, I learned listening to speakers, trainings. I remember attending, I think I was in high school, my first in high school. There used to be this, in the drama festivals, there used to be this topic, not a topic, it was a segment for public speaking in high school. I'm not yet trained, but I used to attend and see how these people were putting forward very good ideas in very articulate manners and very eloquent. So I thought to myself, this can be a place I'd really like to be in. So high school, I didn't really think about public speaking. But once I cleared high school, that desire in me grew so much. So that when I got into now doing talks and trainings on relationships, I advanced again, and so to learn and get deep insights into now public speaking, into training, into coaching, into communication skills, now into personal branding.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, Allan, now going directly to personal branding. Now, we are trying to talk about now the relationship between the two. Most people, whenever they are in business, they work so hard to build on business brands, bringing up different brands in the corporate sector, in the private sector. But now, where is the connection now between personal branding and business brands? Because we struggle too much in building business brands, but how important is it to push on personal branding?
A business is made up of people. Structures and machines are not the business. The people are the business. So contrary to perception, personal branding is the perception clients have of you in your absence. Okay? When you're not around, how people talk about you, the beliefs and principles they think you have, the behaviors they think you have, that's your personal brand. Okay? And in the area of personal branding, when I say it's the perception people have of you in your absence, there are three perceptions in that particular area. Number one, there is what we call opinions about you, what we call theory about you, and then thirdly, the truth about you as a brand. Okay? Now, the opinions they have about you are not based on facts. The assumptions, maybe they just saw your post, they saw Dandan has a post on Facebook, and they immediately formed an assumption of who Dandan is. You can do nothing about opinions and assumptions because it's a personal choice someone has about you. It's just an opinion, no facts, no statistics, it's just a fact. I mean, it's just an opinion, okay? And then the next level, the theory they have about you. They may have heard about you from someone, okay? They may have read an article about you. They have some minimal information about who you are. Maybe 10% or 20%. So from that theory they have read about you, they form again a perception about who you are. It might be true, it might be true, it might not be true. But now the truth, these are people who have maybe come to your trainings or to your courses, people you've trained, people you've worked with, people who have had a testimonial from other people you have trained or worked with. Okay? But now, the truth about you can be both positive or negative. Okay? So most people tend to tie personal branding into a different kind of niche of things. We think it's about logos. The logo that I have, my corporate colors that I have. Personal branding is about a who more than a what. Okay? It's about who you are more than what you do. Okay? I normally say personal branding is about your ideals and not your ideas. Okay? It's about your principles more than your philosophies. So it's an inward character or behavior thing that comes from the depth of your heart and into people's lives. Okay? One more thing I can say, personal branding is more about morals than money. Okay? For example, you might be in a niche where there are other brands like you, and this brand has a very good idea that can make your business go places. This brand has a very good idea, but the ideals are wanting. You as a brand, however good these personal ideas are, if their morals or behaviors are not aligning to your morals or behaviors, don't partner with them in whatever they are doing. Because building back a brand when it's broken down is very difficult. It's very difficult. Okay? So a brand that is personal, from the word personal brand, you are the one who is carrying the vision and the mission in terms of principles and values before you come to colors and logos and corporate mission statements. Is you building yourself out first as being authentic, being principled, having values, you're disciplined, you're a man or woman of your word. That's your personal brand. Okay? And you can't put a suit on about brand. You can dress nicely, you can look good and immaculate, but once you speak or you relate to people, people see the brand from the inside of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now the challenge is the times that you've talking about the three sides. You've talking about the opinion, what people think, what people see, what people perceive. Now and then again, the theoretical part, what they read about you, what the research they do about you, and then now the real you. But now in the current generation and times, people are so keen about the opinions of others, what people think about them, what people perceive about them. But now, how does this affect a personal brand when talk about it?
I said earlier, every single person has an opinion about you. Every single person has an opinion about you. Whether it's truthful or not, it doesn't matter. They are just opinions. Opinions don't hold water. If you go to a court of law, you don't give opinions. You give facts. You give evidence. So I was saying, now, let me rephrase my statement. It's upon you as a brand to be diligent enough to consistently and deliberately work on your brand as a person for a continuous amount of time that you're tested and tried. Okay? But no matter what people say, you have a majority of people who know who Dan is and what Dan does.
Okay.
If I say Mercedes, what comes to your mind?
A good car.
Mercedes. If I say, for example, let me come now to cooking in our country. If I say sunflower oil or canola oil, what comes to your mind?
The brand.
The brand.
Elianto and...
Okay. Okay. When I say the word Mercedes, you automatically, in your mind, know I'm talking about quality, comfort, luxury. They have been consistent over the time and over the years to create something that is not only strong, but powerful and luxurious. That no matter where they are, haven't been to a Mercedes showroom or to a Mercedes shop, but they have a testimonial evidence that whatever they do is good.
Okay.
So the opinions will only fade away if you're consistent enough in delivering day out, day in, the quality that you believe is supposed to be delivered for people out there.
Okay.
Okay? So, and if you spend too much time on opinions, you won't move far. You should focus on the truth they talk about you. Okay? If it's positive, well and good. But do more to grow every other day from the truth, from the positive you're talking about. If it's negative, find out why. What things am I doing wrong? Is it about my talking, my delivery? Is it my services? Is it my staff, if you have a company? Okay, you don't assume Itaisha. No. You get down to the nitty-gritty of what makes people think negatively about you as a brand. You don't assume a brand. Whether you like it or not, a brand speaks for you because it is you. So opinions don't matter. Work on what the truth is about you. Yes.
Yeah, I know there is a research that has been done, and majorly people say that people buy people. When you're doing a business, people buy you.
Yes.
But now there is always this narrative that somebody will struggle to build a business, and then again now to make himself look like the business, but not the vice versa. In your own opinion, which one should come first? Do you build yourself first or do you build the business?
It's like 2020 situation. Values, principles, discipline is what builds a business. And those are not structural things. They are character traits. Okay? As I said earlier, you can't put a suit on bad behavior. Okay? So I first take the time to build myself as a person. Okay? For those who are believers, the Bible says, to you who much is given, much is expected of you. If my vision is to have this big and expansive company, but I begin small, the same principles and values I'm using when I'm starting up my startup company are the same principles and values I use when my company grows big. Okay? So I'm so big on people working on themselves first. A personal brand comes before a company brand. Okay? You can structure your company. You can change the name of the company. Companies have changed names. Companies have changed logos. But when I see you as a person, and there are things you did to me last 2 years, some time ago, those memories stick in my mind.
True.
Okay? So it's easier to recreate a company's brand than to create a personal brand. So I'm big in you first work in yourself, work on your values, work on your behaviors. If you're to deliver something, are you doing it on time? Is it quality? Is it consistent? Because quality comes from a disciplined mind to deliver that quality. Goods or services don't speak for themselves. It's the person in charge who makes sure what I'm churning out from my business or from my company meets the value that the clients want. That only comes from me being disciplined enough, having the traits to deliver those particular goods and services. So I believe you first begin with yourself, work on you. Work on you. You are the company. Work on yourself. So even when you begin to hire your staff, when you begin to grow bigger, they find a foundation that is set in place. Okay? They don't bring you principles that are out of place. They find Dandan has set this. We arrive on time. We deliver on time. We deliver quality. We are for client satisfaction. When they find those things in place, which were begun by you as a person, then the company is easier
To pick up.
yeah, to become big, or to grow and expand.
Okay, somebody might ask outrightly, what does it take? We know that from your explanation and what have you, a brand, personal brand is about the virtues and what have you. But now what does it, because you have to develop these habits.
Yeah.
If you have to live with it, then you have to work with it, you have to practice. What does it take for somebody to build a good brand? You talk now about personal branding. Now, what does it take to build a good personal brand?
Okay. That's where I tie public speaking. Let me do that. Public speaking, because in let me take a bigger term, that communication skills. Okay? Because once you have worked on yourselves, because character traits and behaviors are seen. If you're disciplined, it is seen. If you're on time, it is seen. If you're kind, it is seen. If you're compassionate, it is seen. Okay? So those are things you can't fake follow. If you're faking it a few times, you won't find out. Okay? But now, in communication skills or public speaking, we have three things. You have the vocal image, the visual image, and the inner image. Those things create your brand. Okay? The physical image is what we are seeing. How you dress, how you walk, how you talk, your mannerisms. Are you able to engage in small talk? Okay? How you interview or how you go for interviews. Okay? The physical part that you see in you. Okay? The dressing, the walking, the posture, the gestures. Okay? When you're having a conversation with somebody from another company or another entrepreneur or another CEO, are you able to hold a meaningful, holistic, mature talk with a particular person without deviating the other things? Okay? So that's the physical of what we are seeing. Okay? Now, the vocal image, now how you articulate your ideas. Okay? The articulation, the eloquency of what is coming from you. I normally say a good idea, a great idea can be lost through poor communication. Okay? You can be this good in your craft. You're this good in your craft, very perfect. But if your communication is here, people will treat you as here. Because a good idea can be lost through poor communication. So your vocal image has to be at par with expertise. Okay? They say public speaking is one of the most feared, it's one of the biggest phobias in the world. Okay? And not just speaking to people is one of the biggest fears in the world. We forget that speaking or skills in communication can be taught. I've seen CEOs who are awesome in what they do. I've seen entrepreneurs who are good in what they do. But the moment they speak, sorry to say so, you begin to have a perception of who they are, depending on their vocal image. So as a personal brand, you must work on your vocal image. Get training, get courses on how you're supposed to communicate, on how you're supposed to deliver your messages. If you're a CEO, how do you talk to your staff? How do you deliver your vision and mission to your staff? Are you encouraging? Are you passionate? Can people follow you just because of what you have said? Okay? So, talk about the physical image, the vocal image, and now the inner image. The inner image now is about the traits you have. Being kind, being compassionate, being having empathy. You know, and something's come to mind on the same. Emotional intelligence. Okay? Because you can't talk about your inner self without addressing the emotional intelligence of a person. Okay? Emotional intelligence was coined by an American psychologist, Daniel Goleman. Okay? Emotional intelligence is simply being in charge and in control of your emotions and understanding other people's emotions. As a leader, as a brand, you only go as far as you can control your emotions. And you can understand other people's emotions. Alright? And these are things we can talk here in theory, but in practicality, you have to follow a laid down set of courses or rules or training for you to be able to operate under these things.
Okay.
Okay? Like, for example, we speak about emotional intelligence. There are around five I call them 5 pillars that hold up emotional intelligence. Even for people who want to be good brand, have personal brands. One of the things is empathy. Under emotional intelligence, having empathy. Empathy is different from sympathy. Sympathy is having pity on someone and you do nothing about it. But empathy is walking into that person's shoes, understanding their pain, and being there for them. Even if you don't have the money to give them, being there, giving your time for them. Okay? And this cuts across in business and in relationships. Okay? Do you have empathy for your people? Having empathy is not being weak, it's being mindful. Okay?
It's being considerate.
Exactly, it's being considerate. Okay? After empathy, under the same, you have what you call being an effective communicator. Having effective communication skills. Being able to relay a message in a mature and holistic manner, and being able to receive the response from that person, ruminating upon that message and giving back another response. You don't listen to react. You listen to understand. So having
And you don't listen to respond.
No.
You listen to understand.
To understand. Okay? And in fact, mostly in relationships, people listen to go on the attack mode.
You're already defensive before
yes.
you.
You're already defensive in your listening, not even you're talking. Okay? So you listen to respond. You listen to understand, sorry. Okay? So empathy, effective communication, and then you have motivation. But me, I'm big on discipline more than motivation. Motivation is influenced by external circumstances. But discipline goes beyond any external factors. So Goldman talked about motivation, but I believe this motivation is based on discipline. You have to be disciplined enough to do what you say you do, whether it rains or not. Okay? Whether you feel like or you don't.
Or don't.
So your motivation is not based on what things are happening out there, it's based on discipline. Something else under branding, having a self brand, is what we call self-awareness. Self-awareness. Knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. And I'm going to say, a person who only understands their strengths is the most weak person alive.
The person who understands his strengths.
Only the strengths is the weakest person alive. You have to understand your strengths and your weaknesses. Okay? So you maintain your strengths and you work on your weaknesses. So you know, if there's a deal coming through as a personal brand, are you able to deliver at the highest point of quality? Or if not, can you get a team to work with you to deliver?
True.
Someone said, good businesses are made up of good teams. And good leaders get better stuff than them. Okay? So you get people
who will support your vision.
You and spur you through. Okay? So that's
self-awareness.
That's self-awareness. And then there's self-regulating. So whereby you're able to walk through crisis or go through negative thoughts that come into your mind. Okay? So if you look at these things, a personal brand is deeper than what you think. It's someone who can withstand things that come their way. It's someone who is able to steady the ship when the waves are coming his way. So it's more than the colors, we said earlier, than the logos you have. Okay? Or than the suit you have. It's having a resolute, strong inner self that stands for the business or the brand you are building up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, somebody says that you attract who you are. And sometimes your self-branding always attracts either somebody who is positive to your side or somebody who is negative. So it means that when you portray a negative brand, you attract negativity. Yeah. When you portray a positive brand. Now, if you talking about now relationships, like the people that you bring into your circle, do they affect your personal brand? And other than the virtues and building up the inner you, but do you think the environment, before you answer that, just to acknowledge people are still coming in and also people are contributing on, we have Honorable Betwell Ngethi who is watching, and we have Amazon Global Limited who is part of this conversation. He's saying that they are tuned in from Baringa Twin Plaza. Eldoret, good to hear from you, Allan. And then also Chebanandi is saying that he's live from Bremic International. Thank you for always being part of this conversation. We have MC Kalio who is watching. We have Sarah Siwa who is watching. Ronald Kipkosgei is saying that he's watching live from Eldoret. Good work, Kiongozi, Eddie, Kim, and many others who are still streaming in. Please tell us where you're watching from, and also tell us if you have a question to our guest tonight on personal branding, talk about relationships, and also public speaking. Please share on the comment section so that we'll be in a position to respond to our guest or ask our guest tonight as we go on this conversation. This is a conversation that you must have a notebook and a pen to note down. This is oozing a lot of wisdom. Now, talking about the connection now between the people who are within your circle, do they affect your personal brand? Because even there is a quote that says, show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Now, what is the connection? Where is the nexus between the environment that you are in and building your personal brand? And what does it take? Is it important to see who you are working with?
Very important. Extremely important. Someone said, why be celebrated at work, but be tolerated at home? In your company as a CEO, people celebrate you. People are in awe of what you're doing. People love what you're doing.
Amazing.
But when you go back home, people don't seem to understand who you are. Okay? So the people who are always around you, the company you keep, bad company corrupts good morals. Relationships are paramount in any aspect of life you are. Whether you're a CEO or a janitor or a cleaner. Relationships are respecters of no man. They cut across. They don't care what you do or who you are. Okay? You can't be a disciplined, loving, kind CEO who keeps a company that is bitter and angry and chauvinist. Okay? They say if you stay around 5 billionaires, you become the sixth billionaire. You stay around 5 gossipers, you become the 6th gossiper. Okay? So the people you keep around your circle really shape and determine who you become in life. Okay? So that's why I'm so big on relationships. So big. Like from the talks we had, from the sessions we've had counseling sessions, we've done coaching with the same. And you see people who are doing very well in their workplaces. It's called their movers, the workplaces. But their private relations are nothing to write home about. Okay? So as an entrepreneur or as a CEO or as a personal brand, be very careful in the people you keep, in the company you keep. Okay? And respect can go out of the window just because of someone people saw you with. Okay? Can be having a very serious conversation with a CEO of a company, and you guys want to partner in doing something. And then they see you tomorrow on social media, done a post, you're in this club somewhere, or in this party somewhere, and the pictures you're doing, you're posting on the social media handles are wanting. We've seen people who've had their brandings stripped down, broken out because of what they did on the social media.
True.
Because of people they hang not around. Okay? That's why they are not two faces. You don't have a face for work and a face for relationships, or a face for home. You need to be the same person in all those spheres of life. Okay? So you forge forward a person who is stable, who is reliable, who is consistent in what they are doing. Yeah.
Okay, now bringing into about relationships and what have you. We are celebrating love this week, and people are so excited about Valentine and what have you. Just to give how important we've had issues, not to quote any company, whereby you find that the relationships between the spouses has seriously affected performance of any other business or this particular business. But now, I know you as a person, you've been working closely with your partner, and definitely we can see growth. We can see a lot of positive growth in your company. How now important is it now to involve your spouse in building up your empire and your company as a person?
And I'm going to say this. Treat your marriage or love life like a business, and it will treat you like a lover. Treat your marriage or love life like a business, and it will treat you like a lover. How much money or funds, how much time, how much consultations, how much courses, how much trainings have people put in their businesses?
A lot.
A lot. We even sacrifice to build our businesses. How much money, how much time, how much consultations, how much coaching, how much courses have we put in our marriages?
Less.
I'm only saying we have very good CEOs and entrepreneurs, but very poor fathers and mothers and wives and husbands. A love life or a marriage never works by default. A business and a marriage, they don't work by default. They work by design. You must be deliberate to make these things work. You must be able to make these things work. Okay? Like most of our issues begin when, even when you're dating, even before you get married, because those are the foundations. I'm going to say marriages don't get wrong. I mean, don't end up wrong. They start wrong. They start wrong. But I normally say this to people, they think it's a weird thing. I normally tell men, don't chase after women.
What happens?
Don't chase after women. And I tell ladies, don't play hard to get. Like, what do you mean? For example, chasing, I want to word my statement very carefully. Chasing after women speaks of inadequacy to attract. You chase after which that is running away from you. You chase after which that you repel. The opposite of chasing is attracting. Something about, we talked about branding personally earlier. Are you disciplined? Like you as a man, how's your health? Are you physically healthy? Are you mentally healthy? Are you spiritually healthy? Are you emotionally healthy? Are you financially healthy? Can you hold a conversation with a lady without deviating into things that don't really matter at that particular point? If you are holistic as a man and mature as a man, you don't chase, you attract. By the way, chasing after a lady or after a woman is not beneficial to both parties, and I'll tell you why. Number one, when you're chasing after this lady and you assume she's not really interested in you, so you're the one who's doing the what? Who's doing the chasing. There are some women who submit to your advances, not because they like you, some because they are tired of being chased after, some because of what you used to chase them, the resources you used to chase them. Maybe you bought them gifts, you took them places, you showed them what you can do. So they don't love you as a person, they love what you're doing to them. Okay? And some of them feel entitled to who you are. They're because wewe ndo umenifuata. Mimi sikuwa na shughuli na wewe. So I am the prize. So I am entitled. Ndio kusema. And there are some men who are doing the chasing. They're taking through hoops and jumping over hoops and alleys. Umepelekwa mbio for a long time. You've spent money. You've gone places paka umechoka. Some men, once they get her, they feel also entitled because they have worked for her. So they both become entitled.
Now, what is the ideal scenario?
Attraction. Normally I say, at the beginning of any relationship, there has to be mutual attraction. There has to be some form or kind of you guys liking each other, and then you build on that. And this, so I say now, I said earlier, now the second scenario where I say, some ladies are told to play hard to get. Play hard to get. You play hard to get. Playing hard to get is for the immature people that have time to waste.
Really?
Playing hard to get is for the immature people that have time to waste.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, why waste time playing hard to get? Yet I can invest that time to know what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
And lady who is full of substance, who knows her value, who understands whom she belongs to, won't play games.
Mm-hmm.
Won't play games. She knows what she needs in a man. She doesn't see it, she goes her way.
But on the flip side, the man has to prove that this is who I am.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
balance.
Yeah, it's a balance of both the man and the woman. I was saying both of you bring value into that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
One is coming as doing the other person a favor. We come together because we are attracted to each other and want to build this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to tell you is this: don't play hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
Be precious and valuable to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a story. I think you know where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So this man who was tilling his land,
Mm-hmm.
he had hired
Mm-hmm.
a land, he was tilling the land.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy was tilling the land and was doing the tilling. He hit something very strong in the land. So he came out of his tilling machine to see what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Looking in the land, he saw some ironish thing.
Mm-hmm.
He began digging with his hand to see what was in that particular place.
Mm-hmm.
To his amazement, it was a treasure.
Mm-hmm.
He went digging, he saw, yeah, there's some more treasure in that land. He went back to the owner, like, are you in any form or way wanting to sell this land? I'm like, yeah. How much? He was told. It was a lot of money he didn't have in his bank account. He went, sold everything he had, came and bought the land.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what? The treasure that was in that particular land. When a lady defines herself as valuable, as a treasure,
Mm-hmm.
she attracts as well. A man who is stable in his mind, who is mature,
Mm-hmm.
physically, emotionally, mentally, socially, will do everything in his power to be with that particular lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So let there be a mutual respect and attraction for each other before we get into these relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they talk about mutual respects and what have you, like complimenting each other. I think that's what you've been advocating for. Like you compliment each other.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
But now, a current day relationship are in shambles. You find that people invest a lot in weddings and what have you, and invest a lot in pursuing that woman, pursuing that relationship. But just for it to last a few months.
Yeah.
But what do you think are some of the challenges that we encounter in the current, being a counselor, being a trainer and a coach? What do you think is some of the things that we didn't get it right, where our parents used to get it right? Do you think times have changed, people don't value relationships, people never take it so serious as an institution? Though you've said we invest a lot in coaching in businesses, trainings and building businesses, but we invest less when it comes to marriages and relationships. Where are we going wrong? What are some of these challenges that we think as a counselor is seriously eating into our relationships?
You've touched on a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Complementing and competing.
Uh-huh.
One of the modern day struggles we have
Mm-hmm.
in modern dating, modern couples, I might say,
Mm-hmm.
men and women think they are the same when it comes to dynamics of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Men and women, we are not the same. Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
We are equal in value,
Mm-hmm.
but different in roles and responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, a masculine man finds peace, honor, and respect from a feminine woman. A feminine woman finds love, security, and leadership from a man. What you're doing nowadays, I said earlier, men and women are equal in value. What you're doing when we are dating or courting on marriages, we are competing against each other on the basis of value. I am more valuable than who you are.
You need me.
Yes. You
But,
need me more than I need you. So we are both here in value. One is higher than the other, one is lower than the other in value.
It's a 50-50.
Yes. So what happens, for me to appear that I am more valuable than you, what do? I have to step on you. I can't go higher.
I have to bring you down.
Yeah, we are made in the image and likeness of God. We are both valuable. So I have to press you down. For me to appear, I'm more valuable than you are. So the mistake we are doing is we are fighting and arguing on the basis of value, instead of complementing each other on the basis of our roles and responsibilities. Okay? Across genders, men we compete against each other in businesses, in all those things. You know, but I mean among genders, but between male and female, we're supposed to complement each other. One more thing I might add is we mix a lot of things. We mix love with pleasure, with romance. Love, pleasure, and romance, and intimacy. I think those things mean the same thing. And they are very different in their essence. Okay? People will only be able to express and receive love once they understand who love is. I did not say what love is. Who love is. Love is not an it, it's not a what. Love is a person. You know, it's very easy to look for love. So you say, I'm looking for love. Because there are no metrics to measure what you're looking for. So it's very difficult to become one. Okay? To become one that is lovable. But looking for love is easy. Because if you don't find what you're looking for, you say, shida si yangu, shida ni ya watu wengine. Okay. So love is a who. Love is a person. And then it's very difficult to define love without going back to the Holy Book. That's my approach. It's very difficult. Extremely difficult to define love without going back to the Holy Book. You know, there's a verse that I like. It's 1 John chapter 4 verse 8. It says, whoever doesn't love doesn't know God, because God is
love.
Love is the personification of God. Love is not an it, it's someone. Okay? And people say love is not feelings or emotions. By the way, love requires emotions and feelings. Love divided of emotions and feelings is just a plastic thing. So love, emotions and feelings are not the whole package, but they are part of what love is. But I dare say, love is even more than a decision or a commitment. I know of people who are committed to their work from 8 to 5, but they hate their job. You can be committed to something you don't love. Love is beyond commitment. Okay? I normally tell married couples, when I define a marriage, say, marriage is dying to self, so that my spouse can live. I die to myself, so that she, in my case, she can live. Because love and intimacy is never about you. It's about the other person.
It's being selfless.
Yeah, it's about the other person. So most of us are not able to receive or express love because we think of love as an it, and not a who.
We objectify.
Yes. Yes, it's how I feel. It's what I want. It's what I need. It's supposed to be a serving avenue to the other person.
But now, Alan, getting back to what you just said, that you're investing in the value that each one of you is bringing. It's about it's the level of value that you're coming in. But now, it's so difficult in this time and age. You've talked about competition. It's so difficult for people to bring that equal value, that you're valuable in this relationship as well as I am. But now there is the issue of competition. It's something that's killing our relationships. It's something that's killing our marriages. But now, how can we now bring and draw the line between the roles and responsibilities? Because you've said, yeah, it's difficult to speak about love without referring to the Holy Book. But now, where do we get these roles and responsibilities? Is it something that we sit down and say that, hey, you must do this and this as I do this and this?
There are those intrinsic value skills, I call them so, that men have and women have. So I said earlier, we are not supposed to compete against each other, we're supposed to complement each other. Okay? Take a sample of a number of ladies and ask them what they look for in a man. Most of them will say the same thing in different languages or in different ways. I said earlier, most look for leadership in a man. Most look for security in a man. And security is beyond finances. Are my children secure in this man? Are my children secure in this man? Is my love secure in this man? Okay? So they look for leadership, they look for security, and then they look for leadership, security, and the third one was running away from my mind. I'll come back to it when it comes back to my mind. Okay? So as a man, as I'm maturing, as people mature from boys into men, they're supposed to be mentors around you who guide you, who lead you, who teach you into who a man is supposed to be. So these responsibilities we're talking about, or those roles we're talking about, as much as they are in us, they are also supposed to be taught to us. Okay? A spineless man is a detriment to the society. I didn't speak about an arrogant man or an ignorant man. I said a spineless man. Okay? You can be loving and kind and compassionate and have empathy and still be strong. Okay? So these roles are seen in your day-to-day life as you're living your life. How you respond. So we're trying to tie them. We're trying to tie business and relationships.
Yeah.
How you talk to your staff, to your workmates. How you talk to people. How you talk, you as a man, how you talk to ladies on the streets. You make comments that are not worthy of honor. Okay? If you're not married, do you treat ladies as special and valuable and worthy of honor? Or are you allowing your fleshly desires to go ahead of you? Okay? So there are common behavioral traits across the board that me as a man I'm supposed to work in or to walk in. But when a lady sees those things, she's able to know this guy is a real deal. I said earlier, you can't fake for long. Fake things break up or apart after a short period of time. You can fake for one month, 2 months, but after a while people know who you are. So you give that person time and see how they're relating to you, how they're treating you, how they're responding to you. And I'm going to tell ladies this. Now, to answer your question, if you want to know if a man loves you, they do several things. They respect you. They respect your body. They respect your feelings and emotions. They respect you. You respect her body, that you know this body does not belong to me until we say I do. On the altar. Okay? I respect your feelings and your emotions. I'm able to empathize when you're going through something. I'm able to relate to what you're going through as a man. No, I'd say most men don't really have an empathetical side. It's supposed to be have empathy. And then thirdly, you respect her decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You may not agree with them, but you respect them.
Mm-hmm.
If a man does not respect you, or woman, if they don't respect you, however much they shout they love you, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Because you put value to the things you respect and honor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, it's the whole thing. It's about balancing our responsibilities and building a successful relationship and building a successful marriage. The current relationship is, we find that the woman is here, she's empowered, yourself you're empowered, and bringing now the balance in terms of career, business, and relationship. The balancing of ensuring that, yeah, I'm the boss at work, yes, but you're still the mother at home, you're still the woman at home. Because that, the common, let me call the empowered woman feel, that is when the clash comes in. But now, how can you ensure that you have a successful, speaking to the woman and also the man, how can you ensure that you create a good balance? So you talk about the career, the business, and also at home. How do you create that balance, ensuring that both become successful? Because you say that you might be celebrated as a CEO, you might be celebrated as a successful businessman, but you are a failure at home. You are a failure in marriage. How do you bring that balance?
I'm very careful to speak about balancing your career and your love life.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to find a balanced scale.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're going to buy your meats at the butchery,
Mm-hmm.
they do their best to balance that scale. But it's always either a 0.01 something off of a kg or a milligram off.
Mm-hmm.
Balancing is scary because when people say balancing between your career and your relationships, there's always something that is hurting.
Mm-hmm.
There's never balance.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something that is hurting. So instead of balancing, I'm more into priorities.
Mm-hmm.
What things do you put most priority on? I normally say this: take a piece of paper,
Mm-hmm.
write the people who are most valuable to you and the things that are most valuable to you, and then assign your time and resources in that order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Balancing might get you the short end of the stick in many ways. In many ways. Okay? Coming back to the love life and the business. You know when you're at the altar and you're changing your vows, and I remember very well when you did it. Do you take this as your wife or your husband and you say, I do, I do. I think most people in their hearts, with their mouth they say I do, with their hearts they say I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
We look at marriages as destinations instead of destinies.
Mm-hmm.
A marriage is a starting point, it's not an end point. We get into marriages or love lives and we settle down. I normally tell couples, do not settle down in marriage. Do not settle down in marriage. Asami imefika imeisha. No. You need to put in the work. As I said earlier, people have been married for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. No mentor. No coaching or counseling or training. No courses. We assume it will work out by default. And we have very painful marriages out here, or very painful relations because of our inability to work on ourselves. By the way, let me surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
Marriages never work.
What happens?
And they never fail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell people I am married. Show me marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You are married. Show me marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You can't show me marriage. Marriages never fail. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Saying marriages work is like saying cars drive. Cars don't drive.
Drivers do.
Yes, cars are driven. There is a deliberate action taken for a car to move and brake and take corners. Same to marriages. Marriages never fail, they never work. You work on yourself. I don't say you work on your spouse. You work on yourself, and the marriage takes after your shape. If you are a failure, the marriage takes after your shape. If you work on yourself and become healthy and strong and mature, the marriage takes after your shape. Like this glass of water. If you take the same water, put in a different container, it takes the same shape. Okay? They don't. We are the ones who are supposed to lead in those areas. If you're fired tomorrow, or if your business ends tomorrow, God forbids, where do you go back to?
Go home.
Go back home. You don't stay in your business, you go back home. How come we do everything in our power to make our businesses the best, but we do nothing about our relationships back at home? Let me give you a story, kindly, if you. There's this man who went to this bank. And this man was really angry. He was shouting and he was screaming at the top of his lungs to the people inside the bank. He was sweating, he was angry, the outburst from him was so loud. I said, where is my money? I need my money right now. I want my money. Okay? Let me give you the backstory of why he was shouting and asking for his money. This guy woke up very early in the morning. Never took his breakfast, didn't even take a shower, put on clothes, ran to town, went to the bank. He was going to the ATM machine. On his arrival there, he found a long queue already formed. A long one, didn't give any election queue around for its money. A long queue. So he got all the patience he had in him and stood in line. 4 hours later, he got into the ATM machine, into the ATM booth. Took out his card, put in the slot, went ahead to do what? Took in the what?
Transact.
The PIN. But when he put his card in, a flashing message came to the screen saying, error. He tried to press cancel to get his card back, couldn't happen. The card went where? Inside the machine. He did this for a long time, around 5-10 minutes. The guy outside the one now getting what? Impatient. So you go into the bank hall and ask what's the problem. Okay? So this guy went into the bank hall, that's why he was doing what? He was shouting. How do you feel for this guy? If you're around that particular bank hall?
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. You feel sad for him. You have empathy towards him.
Yes.
What if I told you, this guy, one, has never deposited any money in this bank. 2, this man's ATM card does not belong to this bank. 3, this man is not even a member of this bank. It would be so absurd and foolish to want to get returns from a place you have not invested in. Dandan, sadly, this happens every single day in most marriages. We never take the time to invest in our spouses, yet you want to withdraw from them. We have very empty, broken, sad spouses at home, yet we are continually trying to empty from their hearts and from their bodies. Do your best to fill your spouse, so whenever you want to get something from them, there's plenty to get from it. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about now investing and also making them to have something that you can withdraw, what do you mean? Like what is now the ideal investment to your partner?
They're the common ones, like the love language of your spouse.
Mhm.
You know the love languages of your spouse. Do you meet them at the point of need? I said earlier, we confuse these words. We confuse intimacy, we confuse romance, we confuse love, we confuse sex. All those words we put into this salad word we want to use.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say, romance is practically expressing feelings to your spouse. When you bring her flowers, or you bring a box of chocolates, or you bring him a watch, some is words, how you talk to them. Okay? Anybody can be romantic. In fact, you can fake romance. I know people who suddenly, who of the world, who do very big things just to get this lady into a life. Once it's done, he moves on. Okay? Intimacy is different. People think when you mention intimacy, they automatically think sex. It's completely different. Intimacy is the harmonious connectivity of two hearts. The foundation of intimacy is not sex, it's friendship, it's trust. Okay? Romance is about flowers. Intimacy is about faithfulness. Okay? And we find it very difficult to invest in things we know will expose our weaknesses. So, there's this couple in Nairobi, I don't know why I'm forgetting their name. I think he's a photographer in Nairobi. He does, I think, YouTube, he had a YouTube show. And he said something that really sent the country into a frenzy. He said, married women are the easiest to have sexual relations with. And guys were like, what do you mean? Ask most married women. I'll talk about men later. Ask most married women. They don't know what intimacy is, how it looks like, because they've never experienced it. They have never experienced it. Never.
So as men we chased, and then when you got them, we forgot about what.
It's about our foundations were not right on both ends. On both ends. I said earlier, love is sacrificial obedience for the benefit of the other.
Okay.
You lay down your life for the other to live. Okay? But when you get into this era of have to touch and feel for it to be real, that's not love. Love is different. Love strips you of dignity. The more you pretend and cover, the more plastic your relationships are. So this idea of mixing things, it's what really getting us into trouble. So we need to invest. We have been married by the grace of God now for this will be a 12th year. 12th year. And no work is easy. Marriage work is never easy for any other person, for any person.
Okay.
But if you put in steps deliberately, you'll see fruits. Okay? We set a date with my wife. We said, this day, we are setting it aside for this particular day. I mean, for us. And I can say, if she's online, she can confirm. For the last 11 years, not because we are any better, not because we know more than other people, but because we just chose to be deliberate. I've said we had almost 80 to 90% of dates for 11 years. Every Friday, go for a date. It's not about money. It's about the two of us. And those dates initially were fire. Initially, you go kama kustakiana. We go like, ukufanya hii. But the more you go on those dates, you remove the baggage and the luggage and you begin talking to each other's hearts.
Okay.
So I'm saying investing in each other. The dates, the talks. If you're people like going to take the walks, You people love reading, watching a movie together, but being there deliberately for your spouse to understand what they're going through, be having empathy for your spouse. But most people have empathy to people other than their spouses.
True.
Have you ever gone to a function of either a church or corporate function? When someone speaks to you, they are smiling. They're very cordial. When they speak to their spouse, sorry, not change.
They frown.
They frown.
Mm-hmm.
Even the presence of their spouse, irritate.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much luggage and baggage in their hearts, they've never taken out. They are strangers in the home. By the way, most divorces happen out of the first child.
Mm-hmm.
They are physically together, but they're emotionally
And disconnected.
divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because we don't invest in each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is a topic that you can go on and on and on, and our time is much spent. Just sorry for that. Just now, as on the flip side, communication is one of the key things in relationships as well as in business. But now, how do we boost our communication cues, and also to ensure that we communicate the right thing and also the right information and the right way, without even singling out basically on relationship and what have you, and also in business? How important is it now balancing on the two? You are a public speaker coach and a trainer for that matter. How important is it to learn how to put the right information? Because it's something that you mentioned before, that sometimes we lose not because we don't know, but because we lack the right way of communication. As we go to now the tail end of this conversation, how do we train and how do we make ourselves conversant in terms of communicating correctly, but not only just communicating? Uh-huh.
As you said, it's a skill. Communication is a skill that is acquired. It's not innately in us. It's a skill that is learned and practiced and trained for until you become good in that particular area. Okay? We have a course and training on communication skills. Okay? There's public speaking, there's one-on-one speaking, there's speaking to your staff or to your workmates, there's speaking between couples. All those are what? Communication skills. Remember I talked about the vocal image of a person. Okay? In communication, there's the sender, the medium, and the receiver.
The recipient.
The recipient. Okay? Now, the sender or the conveyor of the message has to be precise, audible, and open enough, and use a medium that is not corrupted for this sender to get this message the way it was intended. Okay? And once the receiver gives back feedback, me as the conveyor, I need to listen to that feedback, ruminate upon it, and give a response, not because I said earlier, not because I want to attack or react, because I want to understand their point. Okay? In communication, there's a word we say, it's not what you say, it's how you say. Okay? It's the tone you use. Okay? At times the tones we use to speak things negate what we are actually saying. Is your tone kind? Does your tone have empathy? Okay? Are you speaking out of hearsay, or are you speaking because of
the facts you have?
And normally, when I talk to people, I normally put, that's what people normally do when they have an argument in communication. There's a person here, and this is the issue in the middle. What happens? You speak against this person, you speak against this other person. Okay? When the issue is at the center of your talk, you speak and hurt each other. Okay? You don't speak what's like you always, you never. You don't. Okay? What we do, you sit here, the other person sits here, and that's our issue. We are tackling the issue. The issue is not us. That is what? We're here for a common goal. Okay? So what's the issue? The issue is when you come home late or when you come to work late, A, B, C, D is not done. When this is not done, I lose clients. When I lose clients, I lose money. When I lose money, my business does what? That's good. It does go down. Okay? If you continue coming late, I will have to let you go because of my what? The sake of my business. The other around me, you are stupid. You don't think where you're coming from. You're foolish. Do you think this business is for you?
Okay.
You're getting my point?
Yeah.
You can still have your respect and honor in touch and still fire someone. So the communication skills have to be on point in whatever scenario you are in, whether you are learning or you're doing something that is difficult. I said earlier, you can't be again an effective communicator if your emotional intelligence is low. Remember those things that we tabled. Okay, so that's why we say we have a tailor cut course to get people through these things. Like for example, look at you. How is your character traits? Okay, how disciplined are you? How mature are you in your emotional intelligence?
Okay.
So we go through those scenarios, okay, that we're able to formulate a plan of getting you from point A to point B. Because theory is overrated. If you do this thing practically and have a course and have homework to report back to someone, then it's easier to get them from point A to point B. But communication is one of the most vital skills for any person of any company. Communication skills and conflict resolution.
Very important.
Very important.
Okay.
Very important.
Now, Alan, I know that we can't exhaust this also, but now, before you tell us now, people are so excited about Valentine and what have you, as we also get to the tail end of this particular conversation, and also as you give your parting shot to know that our time is much spent. Now, people are so excited about Friday and Valentine, but people tend to celebrate. We give flowers only on Valentine's, but we rarely do these within periodically or what have you. It's not our nature.
Yeah.
We do it because of events. We do it because Valentine is here. But talking to these, and also as you give your closing remarks, how do we handle relationships going forward? What are some of the things that you can tell our viewers tonight, and also speaking as a relationship coach, as well as a public speaker, as well as a business coach and what have you? Just as you give your closing remark, because I am tempted, I'm forced to end this conversation because of time and what have you. But your parting shot with regard to all this, in summary, what can you tell our viewers tonight, having that as your camera?
Relationships don't work by default, they work by design. You must have a formula and plan to follow through for anything in this life to work. And those includes our relationships, includes our businesses. Have a plan so that when things are going haywire, you have something to go and refer back to. Don't assume you know your spouse. Don't assume you know him or her. Assume that role and find out what they need from you. Let's move away from becoming rivals. Let's become lovers. Let's become friends. But this is not possible unless we invest in skills that will enable us to meet each other's needs in a way that is not selfish. Let's build our marriages back up. Let's build our businesses back up. Let's have a holistic, mature life that is devoid of plastic or gray areas in our lives. About Valentine's, don't have a Valentine Day because the society expects you to. Okay? The society's expectations are only as true or as real as much as you allow them to. If you're doing anything this Valentine's Day, do it because you value and care for your spouse. And may this not be an event. Let this be a lifestyle.
Thank you. Let it be a lifestyle. Where can people get you? Because I know you always do trainings, you always do coachings and what have you. And also this information was just, we didn't get it deep, but I'm sure our viewers are wishing to get more of this. Just tell us where you're located, where can...
The one we are at Zanmul. We are in Zanmul, so if you want to reach us, I presume you'll give our numbers.
Yeah, sure.
You want to reach us. So you can reach us on our numbers. We are at Zanmul. We, as said, we do relationship coaching for premarital and postmarital cases. We also do speaking and the training for public speaking training and speech training. It's a difference. Public speaking training and speech training, whereby we do things like how to overcome stage fright, how to be eloquent in putting forward your ideas and things, you know. So you can reach us on a number that will be given to you, the host, and you're welcome anytime, any place in our offices.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for creating time to be on the CEO show.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor, and I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having us.
Anytime. I think, ladies and gentlemen, what is it that we've learned tonight? Personally, I've learned a lot. Like we invest in training in businesses. We invest in our businesses, but do we invest in our relationships? Do we invest in our families? That is my take home tonight. What is your take home tonight? Please ensure that you comment on the comment section so that we have this conversation even after this particular bulletin, and ensure that those nuggets are practicable, that you can practice on day-to-day basis. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this conversation tonight. It's been awesome having you on this particular platform. Remember that we always come to you every Tuesday at the same time. Tonight we just stretched a little bit because we started late, but we beg your pardon because we had to do this. And for this and much more, don't forget to tune in next week. Another amazing guest is going to be part of this episode. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel and also our Facebook page for you to be updated on many other shows that will be coming forth. Thank you for having you tonight. May you meet next week, same time, same place, same channel with another amazing guest. Remember, I was your guest, Dan. Have a good night and may God bless you. Thank you.
Stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business Minds.